Hi, so my name is Lindsay. I was a flight attendant for 2 years at Delta Airlines. I started there, I started an initial training in April of 2015, and I decided to quit after my 2 year mark. So I quit at the end of April of 2017. I really enjoyed it. It just wasn't a good fit for my life anymore. I have two kids and I'm a single mom. So I just really wanted to focus more on them, and it was hard being gone a lot. But I wanted to help people that wanted to follow their dream and become a flight attendant because it's truly an amazing experience. And I've helped one of my great friends who always wanted to be a flight attendant but never had the courage to do it, and he thought he wasn't good enough to do it, and he was. And I think me going through the process and getting hired and showing him, hey, look, it's possible, you can do this, and just giving him pointers and tips, and he got hired and he's still working there and he's loving it and having a great time. And then I actually just had a friend who got an interview with American, and she texted me. She's like, okay, what do I wear? What do I do? Like, what is it going to be like? And obviously I don't know exactly how American is, but I can tell you from Delta standpoint what happened. So that's my goal here, is to give you an idea of what to expect through the interview process. It's a lot of steps and it takes time. I think I got my first call, or my first email, actually in February of 2015. And again, I did not start initial training until April of 2015. And actually, that was pretty quick. A lot of people I was in initial training with had started their interview process like back in December and didn't have anything happen till April. So it could be months. But don't give up, because things happen. It just sometimes goes a little slower than you like. But if it's what's in your heart and it's what you want to do, then I encourage you to follow it. Always do what's in your heart. Don't be afraid to do something different. Every day is a new experience, and I just want you to have the courage to do it. So, just to give you a little timeline of what happens in the interview process. You apply online. They send you an email, say, okay, I want you to take this test. You take the test. If you pass the test, they email you again and say, okay, we want you to set up a video interview. So you will do the video interview. You set the time. There's not a live person there. You have to record it. So it's a little bit stressful. They give you like a minute or two to prepare. I can't really remember. And then it starts recording and you have to answer the question. They don't tell you the questions ahead of time. You see the question, you have a minute to prepare, and then you have to go into it. Everything they did was a STAR method. I don't know if that's exactly what they use anymore, but I know in the past, everything was STAR method. If you're unfamiliar with STAR method, let me know and I can help you out. Or you can research online. There's tons of stuff about the STAR method. It's basically name a time or an experience you had where somebody you knew was doing something unethical, and what did you do about it? How did you overcome it? So it's questions like that. They want to see what the problem was, how you handled it, and what the outcome was. So that basic STAR method, if you research that, you'll know what to do. And go ahead and have ideas in your head. Okay, so if they ask this, I can bring up this time this happened, but make sure you lay it out and say, this was the situation, this is what happened, this is how I dealt with it, and this was the outcome. They got to have all those parts to that. Then after the video interview, if you pass that, you'll get a phone call. They do a phone interview. At the end of the phone interview, they will say, hey, we'd love to have you come for a face-to-face, or they'll say, okay, see you later. I mean, they actually asked me to come for the face-to-face. So I flew to Atlanta for my face-to-face, and there were about 100 other people there. I didn't really know what to expect, but yeah, it was almost like a cattle call. Like, there's 100 people there. You're there for 4.5 hours. You go through different stations. You have to get up. You have to introduce yourself, say where you're from, like what languages you speak, tell something interesting about yourself. And the main thing I can tell you there is smile. They just want to see you smile all the time. Your cheeks are going to hurt when you're done because you've been smiling so much. Um, a lot of people ask, what do I wear? This is what I wore. This is navy, if you can't tell. It's a navy pantsuit. I wore my hair back in a ponytail like this, and I had nude heels on with this. And that's what I wore. Nothing too flashy. Reserved is good. Clean, professional looking. That's what they want to see. At the end of the interview, you'll be called in at the interview, the face-to-face. They call you in. You have a one-on-one with two people, an HR person and a flight attendant. And they are going to ask you the same kind of STAR method questions. And while they're pulling people to do that, you're going to different stations. But all in all, it takes about 4.5 hours. At the end of it, they say, okay, thank you guys. We are so thankful you came. We have buses downstairs waiting to take you back. And then they throw the little twist in there. They say, we're going to call a couple people's names, and we would like you to stay after because we have to ask you a couple questions about your resume. And I had already read online that meant good things. It wasn't really that. They're actually just telling you you're hired, but they don't want to do it in front of the whole group. So I'm sitting there going, okay, well, maybe this is it. Maybe I made it. And everybody left, and they called my name. It was like 10 of us out of 100. And we waited. And after everybody else went out the door, they said, we wanted to keep you guys because we would like to offer you the job as a flight attendant. And so it was really exciting. It was really fun. We went downstairs. You have to do fingerprints, all the paperwork, all that kind of stuff. And then you go home and you wait. You wait, and they will finally email you with a date of your training start date. So it was really fun. And I started in April of 2015. Training is 7 weeks. It is in Atlanta, and you stay in a hotel in Atlanta for 7 weeks. It was difficult. I couldn't have done it without the help of my mom helping me with my kids. It was hard to be away that long, but I think it prepares you for what you're about to go through. You're going to be away from home. You're going to be in stressful situations, and you've got to learn how to deal with that. And I've heard they've slacked off a little. It's not as intense. We couldn't drop below a 90% average the whole time. If you did, you were sent home. No questions asked. That was it. So it's a lot of stress. You have tests every day. You have demonstrative tests. You have paper tests, computer tests. It was every day. Every day I was up all night studying. Then you wake up and you go to class again, and it's a lot, but it's fun and it's worth it. And if you want it, you believe in yourself, you can do it. And I would encourage you to do so. This is my uniform this was my favorite uniform. This is the red dress. My favorite uniform, the one I wore the most. It was the most comfortable for me, but I know they have new uniforms now, but this was my favorite. And again, this is what I interviewed in. If you have any questions, please feel free to just write a comment. Let me know, because I want to help. I truly want to help people that want to live their dream. And now I'm not doing it. I'm working from home, which as a teacher for VIP Kid, which is awesome. And that's been a fun experience too. And it allows me to be home with my kids. So, again, you have any questions, just ask. Hope to see you soon.